Let me paint a little picture for you. It was 2007. I was at my grandma's house on the family computer, one of my favorite activities to do because I could get on the internet and watch all the game trailers I wanted. Shout out to GameTrailers.com, by the way, rest in peace. And there I saw it. Mario and Sonic at the Olympic Games. I thought it was some sort of joke. I didn't even know what the Olympic Games were. I was 9 years old. I was so confused. This is what all of gaming had been leading up to so far. The two biggest mascots of the 90s finally coming together, going face to face. But what the heck are the Olympic Games? Like I said, I was only 9 years old when I saw this trailer, so I literally had no conscious memory of what the Olympics even were. I think I remember asking my mom or my sister what that was, and they were kind of surprised I was asking about it. Anyway, obviously I'm a huge Mario fan, and I'm also a huge Sonic fan. I mean, just look at the videos I've posted. They're really like 95% Mario and 4% Sonic. As a kid, I'd always imagined what a crossover game between the two would be like. You know, Sonic speedrunning through the Mushroom Kingdom, Mario jumping all over Eggman, Yoshi and Tails teaming up, Luigi and Shadow duking it out. I don't know. But I'd slowly come to the realization, this was the crossover game that we were getting. So let's take a little look at what was happening behind the scenes as to how this game even came to be. Whenever Sega stopped producing consoles and changed to a third-party developer, they began forming a closer relationship with Nintendo. I imagine this decision didn't come lightly, as the two companies were bitter rivals in the 90s. But with the failure of the Dreamcast, Sega had to swallow their pride and go third-party. They released updated versions of the Sonic Adventure games on the GameCube, and they also helped Nintendo develop F-Zero. So because they were starting to become buddy-buddy, someone had the obvious idea of creating a crossover game between Mario and Sonic. However, they decided to shelve the idea for a while because they weren't quite sure what to do. Come 2007, Sega acquired the official Olympic license for the 2008 Olympic Games, which was happening in Beijing, China. What this essentially meant is that Sega was allowed to use the Olympic brand in order to merchandise and promote the Olympics. Sega makes a product, people buy it because it has a brand attached to it, and more people watch the Olympics, everyone makes money. So now that Sega had the official license, they needed a killer idea. Someone at Sega decided, wait, let's use Mario and Sonic to promote the brand. So Sega asked Nintendo if they could use Mario for their official Olympic project, and Nintendo bizarrely said yes. This was an odd decision. Nintendo had usually kept their IPs on a short leash. They didn't trust just anyone with these. But every now and then, they'd check their request inbox on Friday at 4:59 PM and just say yes and call it a day. That's how you end up with... Or... Oh, and this guy. According to an interview with Mike Hayes, who is the CEO of Sega America and Sega Europe, he had mentioned that the IOC wanted them to appeal more to kids with this product. So Mario and Sonic, yeah, they were kind of like the perfect fit for this title. And I won't lie, it worked pretty well. The Wii version sold over 7 million copies, while the DS version sold 4 million. They had justified their decision by saying that this crossover will promote healthy competition and emphasize the ethics of cooperation, as a lot is needed in order to make the Olympics possible. And I guess it makes sense, you know? Mario and Sonic, you know, they were rivals, but now things have changed. Sega said GG's, let's make a game together now. And Mario and Sonic, much like real life Olympic athletes, they're athletic. And, you know, they're at the top of the top. They represent the pinnacle of gaming. And you only want the top of the top competing in the Olympics, right? It's just a shame that these two legendary icons met for the first time in a party game. Oh, not that one. So, did the game live up to its hype?
Not really.
This was one of the most legendary crossover events ever. Bigger than Simpsons and Family Guy. Bigger than Who Framed Roger Rabbit. Bigger than Marvel vs. Capcom. Bigger than Jimmy Timmy Power Hour. Okay, wait, maybe not this one.
I'm bad in a hot dog over you. All these pork pie products have got me feeling blue.
But yeah, the premise is kind of funny when you start to think about it. Like, how's this even fair? Sonic is literally the fastest thing alive, and you're telling me he's competing out here with the likes of Wario? And you're telling me Mario, the same Mario from the Mushroom Kingdom that can jump like this, is out here competing with the likes of Wario? Alright though, let's give it up to Sega for the visuals in this game. I really like these pre-rendered cutscenes. I think they managed to find a good art style where both of these universes can coexist, even with how different the character designs are. And also, this intro gets me kind of hyped up. I mean, it's just Mario and Sonic characters competing in Olympic events, but they made it look really cool somehow. As far as the in-game characters though, they look fine, just something feels a little off about them. I think there's this slight twinge of realism in the art direction that makes it feel a little off, makes it feel a little stiff. I wish they'd look a bit softer, like somewhere closer to Super Mario Party, but to be fair, this was their first attempt at something like this. But as far as the events go, I mean, they're not like that exciting to play. There's no like nuances or anything, they just feel like mini games. It doesn't help that they're on the Wii. See, back in the Wii era, everyone wanted to make a game with motion controls. That way everyone and their grandma could just swing the remote and play the game. And this game is definitely a product of that time, whereas something like Wii Sports has a more refined control scheme. There's a bit more purpose to how you swing your remote. In this game, most of the minigames, it feels like you're just swinging as wildly as you can. Like, Wii Sports had a bit more control and depth to the games you played. They were all well made and really fun to play. But I can't really say the same for this game. I think, for me at least, most of the joy is the novelty that Mario and Sonic characters are doing things you don't normally see them doing. It's such a different environment than their usual games. Like, there's something kind of endearing about Waluigi doing stunts off the trampoline, Tails shooting a bow and arrow, or Mario and Sonic poking the life out of each other with fencing swords. And here, we have Eggman, from the famous Mobius region. After numerous failed attempts of conquering the planet, he decided to give up on his dream of becoming a world leader, and instead focus on something more achievable. Getting the gold medal in the pole vaulting event.
How could this be?
Some of these events though are actual bangers. Like, you got the trampoline one, that one's pretty sick. The archery one is pretty fun because it's not just as simple as pointing the cursor at the middle. You have to aim your Wii remote and your nunchuck somehow and line them up, and you have to take into account the wind. However, some of these other events are confusing. Like, I swear I'm doing the right thing, but I guess I'm not. I still manage to do poorly. Sometimes it kind of feels like RNG a little bit. But I will say there's a lot of little nice details that they added, even though they totally didn't need to be there. For example, when you're in the skeet shooting event, there's a little table next to the characters with extra bullet shells, and there's even a little water bottle. Like, can you imagine Shadow the Hedgehog shooting the heck out of these discs and then taking a nice little water break? That's something I've never really thought about, these characters hydrating themselves. And there's also the side characters and referees. They're animated just as well as the playable characters. Come on, Sega, let me play as Shy Guy. He's my main in Mario Kart, come on. Now, the dream events. That's where it's at. That's the good stuff. These events are that nice mixture of wacky yet serious fun I was expecting from this game. They take actual Olympic sporting events and add a bunch of gimmicks and mechanics to them. At times they kind of feel like they could be Mario Party minigames. Although there's only a handful of them because I imagine they take a good amount of time to design. Probably the most unoriginal one I would say is a Dream Racing one. It feels like Mario Kart took a bunch of sleep aids for this one and added a bunch of Sonic characters. It's still fun though. It kinda sucks that there's only one course, but whatever. Then there's the Dream Platform. It's basically just a race to the bottom while also trying to see who could be the coolest while falling. Well, at least now we know where Wii Sports Resort got that idea from. Next is a dream fencing one. It looks like they took heavy inspiration from the 2D fighters genre for this one. You have to poke your opponent with your sword, and you have to build up your special meter, which you can use to do a special move that just kind of like powers through your enemies. It's pretty fun because there's a lot of counterplay and spacing you have to worry about. Like I said, it can feel kind of like a fighting game because it feels like you're just playing footsies the whole time. And wait a second. The last dream event that we have is Dream Ping Pong. This event is kinda sick. It reminds me of Mario Power Tennis. Someone should make a video about that game. Anyway, it's table tennis, but everyone has a special shot. And it's pretty cool because they're all uniquely animated. Also, why was this the era when Mario was deemed the fart man? Did Brawl start it? Like, why does Wario fart all the time? I don't get it. Like, has it ever been a thing? Is it just cause like, oh, I eat garlic, so I'm a fart? Like, that doesn't... Where did it come from? Anyway, yeah, this minigame's pretty sick. There's a little bit of nuance to the game because you can control which type of shots you use, like how fast or slow, and the special shots add a bit of flavor to these games. Maybe I just have a bias towards tennis related games though. But yeah, I kind of have an issue with this game in that I feel like the events in and of themselves, they're fine playing them, but I just feel like it needs a little something extra, like something to tie it all together. I feel like it needs like a main mode for that. Cause yeah, you can get together with your friends and play through these events, but the stakes aren't ever really that high cause win or lose, it doesn't particularly matter. And again, the events aren't exactly engaging enough to have deep layers of gameplay as something like Wii Sports does. You know, in that game you can just play them over and over again and each game has a different outcome. Maybe some sort of Mario Party like mode would have worked really well in this game. You know, that way you're actually competing for something and you feel like the stakes, well, they're at least a little bit high. If you're gonna make it a party game, you might as well go all out. Or heck, maybe like a story mode with special versions of events or something. I think Sega had recognized that this was a problem, because circuit mode is kind of like their attempt at a remedy for this. Pretty much it's a set of events that awards you with points relative to what place you get in an event. I think for the main circuits you can only play by yourself, but if you make a free circuit you can play with your friends. But yeah, this mode isn't really satisfying. There's nothing really new it's bringing to the table, it just feels like a randomized playlist of events. And it doesn't really help that some events are locked behind this mode. And it kinda sucks that if you want to unlock all the events, you have to play through all of this mode. Even the master circuits, which, yeah, I can't do it. They're hard. Did you know that the 1968 Mexico City Olympic Games had the record for the highest altitude ever? The altitude here is 2,240 meters, which is controversial because areas in high altitude have thinner air. This meant that athletes had less airflow and caused them to suffer in endurance events. Did you also know that the Olympic flag is raised during the opening ceremony of the Olympic Games, and remains there for the entirety of the Olympics? This iconic flag is only taken down at the closing ceremony. Alright, cat's out of the bag. I actually didn't know these trivia off the top of my head. There's this extra mode here which allows you to play even minier games, so you can unlock fun facts about the Olympics. I don't think Sega themselves decided to include these little fun facts. It feels like something the IOC made them include. Kids don't like learning when playing games. It just makes them feel like they're in school all over again. But the minigames they're okay. There's a memory one, there's a card playing one, there's a whack-a-mole type one. Like I said, they're okay. They're an okay time. So yeah, that's Mario and Sonic at the Olympic Games. The Wii version at least. What a unique little experience. Yep. There haven't been any other games like this since then. None at all. Oh. This game was the start of a franchise. Almost every Olympics since then has had a Mario and Sonic game that go along with it. Even the Winter Olympics. But they did skip 2018 Winter Olympics. I think that was an awkward year because the Switch was new. Anyway, they spanned across all of Nintendo's recent consoles: Wii, DS, 3DS, Wii U, Nintendo Switch. Oof. The 2020 Olympics were supposed to happen in Japan, home of these two mascots, but COVID kind of put a stop to that. But funnily enough, there was still a Mario and Sonic game. I guess COVID doesn't exist in their universe. And there was also a Sonic at the Olympic Games on mobile. They couldn't license Mario, I guess. But yeah, this Wii version was the first of the Mario and Sonic series. It kind of started a trend, and now it's kind of like a household name. Some are better than others, some tried different things, but yeah, this was the first of its kind. In my mind, I haven't really mentally recovered from this game. Like, it's fine, it's usually a good time whenever I play it, no matter what edition I play, but it's like, I wonder if Sega never had done this, would we have had another crossover game? Like maybe a racing game, a Mario Party-like game, a fighting game? Like, what could have been? I don't particularly think another crossover is off the table, but this series kind of made things complicated. But it's fine. Like I said, I still like these games. The later editions definitely stepped up the quality, especially when looking at the Nintendo Switch version. They're starting to get a lot more creative with the types of events that they have. But anyway, yeah, that's pretty much all I have to say. I hope you really enjoyed this video. Let me know what you guys thought of this game. I'm genuinely curious to see what the consensus is, because, you know, this is just my opinion, but I would like to hear other people's opinions. But yeah, again, thank you so much. If you watched all the way through, you're awesome. Dog bless ya. Push that dang old subscribe button, and have a good one. Yeehaw! Have a dang old good day, man. Have a dang old good day, man. A dang old good day, man.